I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media with a special update from the city of Robbinsdale. As you see, joining us, City Manager Marcia Glick. Welcome, Marcia. How are you today?
Doing real well, thanks.
You are at your city office. Tell us a little bit about city operations now. Who is there with you? How has the city put things together to keep operating during these times?
So Robbinsdale City Hall, in addition to be a nice six-sided building, a small place, actually provides great distancing for our employees. So we're spread out all over the building. We've got all of our internal doors blocked open so people can come and go without the need to, share any surfaces. And so here at City Hall, I have some of the engineering team that's working on preparing plans and specifications for this summer's capital work projects. I have the two city inspectors, the building official and the housing official, that are taking turns as far as things that need to be taken a look at. It's very important for us to continue to monitor for public health any sort of debris piles or things that can cause problems in neighborhoods.
Right.
We do have somebody that's answering our switchboard because people have a lot of important questions, and it's easy for us to just have someone that comes in and can provide information about how do I get my garbage stickers, or what about this or that. And so we have somebody here that's on the switchboard and a couple people that can grab that from their desks as well. The administration team is here handling human resources issues, and we have a couple people at a time in finance that are helping to keep the financial services flowing. Again, the garbage service, because Robbinsdale has a contract for all of our solid waste services for our residents. It's important to let people know,
right,
respond to questions. And we did have a situation where Waste Management's call center was down, so we were the only way for residents to report in problems that they were having with their garbage collection.
Very good. So a lot of information going out of the city at this point, and a great resource is the website. Let's talk a little, Marcia, about your website, robbinsdalemn.com. And then if you go /info, great wealth of information there. Give us a laundry list. What can people find there?
Well, John's been putting that list together, and I'm going to have to look to the side here to remember what all is there. I know that we had originally had a link for city services that were available, how you can access those. Certainly people are dropping off payments in our little drop-off box, but there's also opportunity to call us. There's information about our motor vehicle services, which right now by state order from the governor, we are not able to process anybody's tabs or titles right now.
Right.
Information about recreation programs. All of our recreation programs are canceled right now, and we're monitoring and preparing for the expectation that there would be programs available this summer.
Right.
And then there's a link to the school district and some other things, maybe reminding people that we are not a health agency, and if they have questions about health issues, they really need to check in with the Minnesota Department of Health and the CDC.
Very good. Again, a lot of information, robbinsdalemn.com/info. Let's talk about the differences for a second between cities, Marcia. It's interesting in this times you hear some cities doing some things, others doing other things. How does that work, especially in the size of a city like Robbinsdale?
Sure. It's important to keep in mind that by the time you subtract out the large lake bodies that we have in Robbinsdale, we're about 2.5 square miles. We're a tiny little footprint. And even though Robbinsdale and Minneapolis have a similar per capita cost for police officers and for a police budget, obviously Robbinsdale, with our tiny footprint, has a much smaller police force than the city of Minneapolis would have, or the city of Plymouth, or the city of Maple Grove.
Right.
And so as you see communication specifically from the city of Robbinsdale about something related to the city of Robbinsdale, it's because of our size, it's because of our capacity. Robbinsdale does not have 24/7 staffing at its police building, and therefore the officers are out in the street, and the only way to get information to an officer in the field is to call 911.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So what makes sense for Robbinsdale
yeah.
does not make sense for everybody else.
All
and
right.
again, the number of calls that our little 2.5 square miles is going to generate that's going through the 911 is very different from if everybody in the large cities were doing the same thing.
Very good. All right. So some important differences between the cities. You mentioned some specifics. Let's talk a little more in detail about a few of the things. First of all, the parks in the city of Robbinsdale. Any advice the city is giving for residents as they go to use the parks and try to get out and get a little exercise?
Sure. Getting out and exercising is great. And of course, the city of Minneapolis is putting together lots of great advice for people that are using their trails. The same is true for us. You know, go out on your bikes. It's really exciting to see all the people out and about walking on the trails and riding their bikes all over the place, enjoying our fine weather that we're having. But we did put up initially just signs at our playgrounds reminding people that the playground equipment is not sanitized.
Right.
And so we caution people about using playground equipment. And I know there was further advice about whether we should actually put police tape on the playground equipment. And of course, the challenge is children don't see police tape as a barrier.
Right.
So reminding the parents to talk to the kids about that.
Okay.
And then also on the athletic fields are closed and should not be used for group activities unless it's something like yoga, something that everybody's got their unique space in a large spread out area. But we're just asking people that want to participate in contact sports that right now during our stay-at-home order, that's not the time to be doing that.
Right.
And we are trying to monitor our fields. And again, to the extent that the public sees something that the police need to be aware of, 911 is the way to go for Robbinsdale.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Deputy Registrars Office. I know a lot of people depend on that in the city of Robbinsdale, but again, things have changed during this time, both from the state level and the city level. Tell us, what is the operation in Robbinsdale?
Well, it's interesting that 90% of the calls that we're getting at the switchboards are people that are panicked about their tabs and their driver's licenses and things. And what we do is we point people to the state website, and I don't know that off the top of my head, but the state offices, the driver vehicle services is open.
Okay.
And it's an online service. And so people who call the city of Robbinsdale will just be giving them that web information, and they can go onto the website and pay for their tabs with a credit card. We had been offering a drop-off service here in Robbinsdale, except for during this current 2-week stay-at-home period, and letting people drop off tabs in our utility bill box. But of course, now that we have the stay-at-home order with our inability to log into that system, people really do have to use the state.
Okay, very good. And we'll put that information at the bottom of the screen. 2 other quick notes to touch on. How about the Robbinsdale Municipal Liquor Store operations? Some things have changed there. Tell us some of the basics.
Sure. We are back being able to deliver orders. Well, not deliver. we are back available to the public with our call ahead pickup system.
Okay.
It did take us, we did have to close down for a week or so because we didn't have the cash register software and other software necessary to be doing curbside ordering, but that's now up and operational. It actually started on last week. We had some soft opening for us to test out our methods. And we do have, anybody can call into the Robbinsdale Municipal Liquor Store and place an order and put in a credit card payment. And then we will set up a time for them to come. Okay. And they come to our door, and there will be somebody there that will have them verify with their driver's license so that we can see that they are who we're expecting. Right. Verify the age, and then they'll be able to pick up their purchases.
Very good. Final note, how about other Robbinsdale businesses? What are you saying to Robbinsdale residents about supporting Robbinsdale businesses? And I know you're offering, again, some links and information about that.
Right. I expect there's links on the city info page to the Robbinsdale Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
I know that the Chamber of Commerce was working on sharing information about who's open and who's closed. Certainly another good resource is just to go to a restaurant's webpage, because we've seen that what was true 2 weeks ago is not necessarily true today.
Yeah.
Some of the restaurants were having lunch order pickup, and now the majority of them, anyway, what I saw yesterday is most of them are opening at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So, you know, it's a good idea to just check their websites, and certainly do continue to support our local businesses as they are going through these difficult times, and trying to give us a little variety to what we're able to cook in our own kitchens. And it's certainly fun if you're able to have something special. McDonald's is certainly doing a bang up job. You know, like I said, you just need to check to see who's able to do what. And I also noticed Ace Hardware also has a service that you can call ahead for something that you need. They have a table set up at the back door, and anybody that needs something from Ace Hardware, they won't be going into the physical store, but they'll be able to have an employee go get what they need and bring it out for them to complete their order.
Well, hats off to the creative Robbinsdale businesses. They are finding ways to keep things going during this time, and so is the city. Marcia, thank you very much for the information. And as we mentioned a couple times, robbinsdalemn.com/info, the place to find information. Marcia, thanks for the update. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Dave.